Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hopefully, everyone is having a magnificent day. I'm just seeing what everyone else is seeing on social media about that stuff that's going on in Nigeria, Lagos to be exact, right? Uh, and I'm like, man, let me see about going to Nigeria. Let me see about adding Nigeria to one of those places that I should visit because everything that I'm seeing on social media, the parties slash nightlife, but most importantly, the women, right? Nigeria might be one of those hidden secrets. Nigeria might be one of those hidden gems that I was not in tune with, that I was not aware with. But now I know. So I'm like, hey, let me see Nigeria visa for U.S. citizens. Just a simple Google search, right? Just a simple Google search. And before I even click on the link, the first thing I see is from the Nigerian embassy, the current visa fee for American passport holders is $160. So let's go ahead and click on that link, right? Public holiday, cool. This is the embassy's website for Nigeria in DC, right? And here is my complaint, right? First and foremost, let's go through this real quick. Fill out the forms online, submit them, and print them out. Proceed to payment section, choose payment, money order, blah, blah, blah. You're required to input the details with the money order in the system. Current visa fee for American passport holders $160. Go to column support and click on countries. All right. Here's the problem. I really don't think that a lot of African countries welcome Americans. A lot of African countries want us there with open arms. A lot of African countries want us to go and see about histories, whether our great 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 grandmother, grandfather, aunts and uncles, whoever, wherever our lineage takes us. If that is Nigeria, you likely might want to think about going there. But when they are choosing to charge these outrageous prices, you are likely going to reconsider. And some people might say, and I've heard this argument, hey, America makes it hard for some of these African countries to come to America and live. So some of these African countries makes it hard for Americans to come there and live or even visit. All right, and that's a semi-valid argument. I'm going to say semi because of this. I've traveled all around the world. I've met people say, "Hey, I want to go to America. I want to go live in America. I want to go live in Miami. I want to go live in New York. I want to go live in Cali. Man, that's my dream to live in America." I've taken a woman to America. Right? Matter of fact, I took one. I've taken two women to America. Oh man, I want to live here one day. Man, I could live here. Man, I could live in Miami. Right? You've all heard those stories. I've heard people when I was in another country, in Bahrain specifically. Oh man, I need to get to America, right? And this is no disrespect. This is no disrespect. But I've never heard someone say, "Oh man, I want to go live in Nigeria. Oh man, I can't wait to live in Nigeria. Oh man, living in Nigeria is my dream. Living in Nigeria is my dream." And this is no disrespect to Nigeria or any other country in that beautiful continent, but we can't compare tomatoes to strawberries, right? We can't compare onions to kiwi, right? So I understand the argument of, oh man, America makes it hard for Africans, Africans should make it hard for America, but the comparison is invalid. Respectfully, the comparison is invalid. All right, so back to my point. Nigeria is making it hard for us. I don't think Nigeria wants us there. I don't think they want us there. And let's be honest, I'm not saying there's no corruption within the American government. I'm not saying that. But in a lot of these African countries, there is corruption. I don't know much, if anything, about Nigeria, right? But in a lot of these countries, there is corruption. I was in one particular African country, and we was driving down the road, and it's dirt roads and looking like the hoods and the slums, which is fine. That's where I'm from. That's where I fit in at, right? And then we got to this rich area where I rented an Airbnb, and she's like, oh, yeah, over there is where all the government officials stay. So in this capital of this city, which I'm not going to name, all the government officials stay in these big, luxurious, fancy houses. But everyone else who's not in the government stays in poverty and barely making ends meet, making minimum wage, faking it to make it, trying to get there. Make it make sense, guys. Make it make sense, gals. And I'm not saying just because one country has corruption, every country does, but the corruption is there. I've been in airports. I've been where was it at? I was in Tanzania, right? And this is, I probably shouldn't have said the country, but it is what it is. I was in Tanzania, and the guy was like, hey, buy me a coffee or buy me a tea, right? And it's indirectly a bribe. It's indirectly saying, hey, if you give me some money, I'm going to let you through. He's not saying, hey, buddy, give me some money, I'm going to let you through. But saying, buy me a coffee, buy me a tea is indirectly saying, give me some money and I'll let you through. And he wasn't whispering it. He wasn't trying to be quiet about it. But guess what I did? I gave him some money so he let me through. What am I supposed to say? No. If I'm at any immigration checkpoint and someone asks for some money, 9 times out of 10 I'm going to give it to them. Because 1, I don't want no problems. 2, you know what I'm saying? People can blacklist you in the system. People can do all sorts of stuff. I don't want no problems. But let's be honest. We aren't welcome in the continent that they say we come from. Right? Do I believe that every black or brown person came from Africa? If that's what the history books tell you. If that's what the history books tell you, I guess you should believe it, right? Was your mother around during that time? Was your father around during that time? Was your grandmother on a boat? Did your grandfather tell you his stories of being on a boat? Did your great-grandmother tell you the times when she was a slave? And I'm not saying history did not exist. I'm just saying some of this stuff can be questioned. Some of this stuff can be questioned. But long story short, I was looking at going to Nigeria, and let's be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. If I'm paying $160, that visa better be a 5-year visa. I'm just being honest with you. If I'm paying $160, that visa better be a 5-year visa. And look at this BS. Letter of invitation from host accepting full immigration responsibility. I'm going to repeat that again. Letter of invitation from host accepting full immigration responsibility. Evidence of funds to cover stay in Nigeria. Do I got to show you my bank account? And I've been to 40 countries maybe, right? All over the world. And I've never had to show anyone my bank account. I'm going to repeat that again. I've been to probably 40 countries lately. I've been to 9 or 10 countries just in 2024. And I have never had to show anyone my bank account. I'm just being honest. I just feel like Nigerians, man, Nigeria, they don't welcome us. They don't want us. They want to make it hard for us. If I got to do all of this, and most of the other stuff is normal. Payment receipt, cool, I'll give you that. Passport, cool. Visa form, cool. Return ticket, cool. You know, some of the basic, not saying basic, every country doesn't ask for, but some do. But you want me to have evidence of funds? What? You want me to have letter of invitation? What? We got to rethink our heritage. We got to rethink our family. We got to rethink who we call brothers and sisters. And I told someone this at one point in time. You know, I've been to Africa. And I said, hey, and I've asked people, I said, hey, do you consider Africans? They was like, no, we consider you black Americans. People have told me in Africa, Africans in Africa, born and raised in Africa, not an African that lived in America, or moved to America when they was 10. I've asked Africans in Africa, do they consider me African? And they said no. They consider us black Americans. So think about that for a second. Our own African, quote unquote, brothers and sisters don't even consider us African. Think about that. I'm just giving y'all something to think about, man. It's crazy out here. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.